Thank you all, and thank you to our Charles County community for joining. So, as you just heard, Ms. Acevedo will interpret as we go along in the program. So there is not a separate meeting room for that or breakout room for that. So hopefully you all will receive the information that you need to learn more about Phoenix International School of the Arts. And we'll have an opportunity for you to share questions in the Q&A, or you'll be able to email us at enrollment@pisota.org if you have questions as we go along.
La señora Jackson es la directora y fundadora de PISOTA, que es la Academia para las Artes Phoenix aquí en Charles County. Es una líder probada en educación en las organizaciones sin fines de lucro, con muchos años de experiencia, y va a haber una oportunidad para preguntas y respuestas a final de del webinar de esta presentación, y también vamos a tener las direcciones para usted poder entonces inscribir a sus estudiantes en PISOTA, números de teléfonos y correo electrónico.
Thank you. So a brief introduction of myself. You can go on to the next slide. Again, I am Angelica Jackson. I am the Chief Executive Officer and one of the co-founders of Phoenix International School of the Arts. I am from Charles County. I lived here since I was in elementary school. I did travel abroad for my studies as I reached my advanced degree, as well as attended university in Virginia and in Philadelphia, where I was able to obtain a degree in education entrepreneurship, which is basically the administration and business of education. I also taught in schools. I was an elective teacher, and I taught theater. I taught voice in schools in Philadelphia, as well as in Southern New Jersey. And I'll just add that I am a proud mother of two little ones. I have now a first grader. I need to update this slide. A first grader in the county in the public school, and I have an 11-month-old. So I am truly invested in the work to educate our young scholars here in Charles County.
La señora Jackson es la cofundadora y directora ejecutiva, es una líder probada en las organizaciones sin fines de lucro, con muchos años de experiencia en las escuelas públicas y en las organizaciones sin fines de lucro mayores. Estudió en otros países, también atendió universidad en Virginia y en Pensilvania, y su concentración es administración y empresas para las escuelas. Tiene 2 niños, es una madre orgullosa de estudiantes de 2 niños, uno en primer grado y el otro de 11 meses. Es una ex profesora, entrenadora en instrucción y consultora ejecutiva.
We can move on, thank you. So I will be conducting this information session tonight, but please know that we are in our first year. So standing with me, alongside me, behind me, and in front of me are families, our current founding families, a wonderful group of professional educators, a principal, and so many others who make this school what it is today. And what I am going to be talking about is the mission and vision of the school. We'll also talk about how you can apply and what it would be like a day in the life of your student at PISOTA.
Y también este nuestro primer año en PISOTA. Nuestras familias están todas detrás de nosotros, también los educadores que están en nuestra escuela, y voy a hablar de la visión de PISOTA y cómo usted
Is Ms. Acevedo frozen?
Escribir a
Ms. Acevedo, you're frozen.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Hello, testing. Okay. Did it freeze some of that dialogue I just said?
I would say
much?
about probably halfway through.
Ok. La señora Jackson dice que la misión y la visión de PISOTA es algo que ella va a hablar en esta próxima presentación, y también cómo usted puede inscribir a sus estudiantes. Tienen a las familias en el primer año de PISOTA y tienen a estas familias de primer año detrás de ella también, y también los profesores de PISOTA. Así que vamos ahora a hablar cómo es ese proceso.
Thank you so much. And thank you for bearing with us with the technology glitches. Ms. Acevedo, if it freezes again, I know sometimes turning off the camera while we want to see and hear you, I know sometimes turning off the camera will help with the bandwidth. So maybe that can help in the future if it freezes again, but we can see you now. So we're good. So I do want to start, I'm going to get back to the content of the presentation. I want to lay a foundation of what a public charter school is. A public charter school is a public district school, meaning that in the state of Maryland, public charter schools are district schools, meaning that there is no tuition. So there's no fees to join the school, and there are no admissions tests or any specific grade point average or GPA that you might need to apply to the school. Additionally, we are a district school, meaning that our teachers, our full-time teachers, are required to be certificated. They need to have a Maryland teacher certificate in order to be employed by the school, because they are district employees. Additionally, I want to highlight some of the differences between a traditional public school and a public charter school. So as a public charter school, you see that I have here listed that we do have a lottery-based enrollment. And basically, because we want to, as part of our mission, keep our school, an enrollment smaller, we do have to legally have a lottery, which is a virtual lottery system that we use that will allow us to select the families that would come to the school at a fair and random lottery. So at any time we receive more applications than we have a space available at the school, we have to legally do this lottery. I'll pause there so that Ms. Acevedo can interpret that part. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Ms. Acevedo. One moment, all. There we go.
Ok, ¿qué es una escuela pública concertada? Una escuela pública es concertada, es una charter school, que se escuela pública concertada, es una escuela que usted elige. No hay que pagar para la matriculación y no hay examinaciones de admisión para matricularse. Es a través de una lotería, y las inscripciones son a base de esta lotería, dado al tamaño más pequeño de la escuela. Es una misión específica y es contable al Departamento de Educación del Estado de Maryland, la Junta de Educación de Charles County y la comunidad del condado. Y los maestros de PISOTA también son parte de la Unión Local de Maestros. PISOTA es diferente y distinta, es otra distinción de otras escuelas, y vamos entonces a seguir hablando de las preguntas y respuestas y comentarios al cierre.
Thank you so much, Ms. Acevedo, and thank you for going ahead and interpreting the entire slide. So I'll continue to speak about the remainder of this slide in English. So again, this school is mission specific. So a public charter school typically offers a differentiated curriculum or mission than what you might find in traditional public. So I'll talk more about the mission of PISOTA and how we want to ensure that throughout all aspects of the school. So the classroom, the teaching that's happening, the culture and climate that we build with our scholars and the adults in the building, and the culture they build together as peers, that may look a little different than what you might find at some of the other schools in the district. And then what's really important is that as a public charter school, we are held accountable to show that we are truly serving families, not just by our local Board of Education, but also the Maryland State Department of Education, and more importantly, the Charles County community. We know that a school like PISOTA would not be able to exist without the support and the feedback and the design of provided by the entire Charles County community. So those are some things that make charter schools different. We do, in Maryland, they must be a nonprofit public charter school. And so that nonprofit will work in partnership with the school district to operate and manage the day-to-day activities of the school. So we can move forward to the next part. Thank you. So like I mentioned about being mission specific and working with the community to develop and design the school, back in 2019, the founding group for Phoenix International met with members of the community in focus groups and community design sessions, and we worked with community members of all ages, from early elementary to elders in our community. And we asked them, what would the school of your dreams look like? What does it need to include? What's important to you? And out of those meetings, we came up with these 5 key pillars that are displayed here on the screen. So excellence in A3, which is academics, arts instruction, and also arts integration, which means that not only are they having arts as curriculum with their arts pathway, but even in their core academic classes, the arts are integrated into how the teachers teach their core concepts. Global competence, leadership, and bilingualism. So ensuring that by the time our scholars graduate, they have had some type of exposure to a global mindset, to international perspective, as well as excuse me, everyone. I have a little one and she just wanted to, she had a question. I'm sorry about that. And so third, mental health and holistic wellness is very important. I remember in one of our community design sessions, one of our elders in the community said they want to be sure that their students are not just physically safe, but also emotionally safe. And so we have developed some structures in the school to support this particular design pillar. Real world experience and access to experts. So ensuring that our scholars have access to subject matter experts in either their academic course or in their arts courses, so that they can develop mentorship opportunities or explicit pathways to opportunities post-secondary, whether they be professional or in their academic career. And then, of course, community uplift. The school started with the community, and we ensure that our scholars know that it is important to support one another as well as their neighbors and their community.
Sí, en el 2019 comenzamos a planear para las clases y para la estructura de PISOTA con los pilares claves del diseño de la escuela, como pueden ver en esta hoja. Primero, la excelencia en A3, académica, instrucción de las artes y la integración de las artes. Después, competencia global, liderazgo y bilingüismo, la salud mental, el bienestar holístico, el acceso a expertos y experiencia en el mundo actual y global. Y por último, la edificación comunitaria y también el sistema de STAR, que es Self-Awareness, Tenacity, Attitude y Relationships, que en español es conciencia de sí mismo, tenaz, actitud y relaciones.
Thank you. We can move on. Yeah. So connecting, I'll briefly speak about the connection to our mission. So at our core, we are a school for the arts. Every single day, scholars at PISOTA engage in the arts, whether it is in their core arts pathway classes. So right now, our scholars are taking 2 to 3 classes in their particular arts pathway every single day. Or whether it is in their academic classes where they are using creative methods to learn. So our goal is to inspire and prepare the next generation of global artists, scholars, innovators, and change makers to use those gifts that are inside of them to make our world a better place. So that is why I always encourage those families who are interested in PISOTA to have an honest conversation with your children to see if they really are interested in the arts and want to engage in the arts, because that's something that they will be engaging in every single day. Our broader vision is that we build a generation of informed and highly capable youth, knowing how they can take equal stake in the global economy and community, no matter their background. We often get the question, why Phoenix International? And that is because if you are familiar with the symbol of a phoenix, which is like this sort of like this mystical creature, it symbolizes rising above the ashes and creating something beautiful, regenerating. And so when we think about artists, when we think about our community, we think about how together we can rise above those circumstances that we are born into, that we are given, and soar to our greatest potential. So that is the vision that we have for our scholars. Ms. Acevedo?
En la visión y en la misión los estudiantes toman de 2 a 3 clases de arte y otras clases académicas. En la descripción general, la misión es inspirar y preparar a la próxima generación de artistas globales, estudiantes, innovadores y agentes de cambio para hacer que el mundo un mejor lugar. Para los estudiantes de grado 6º a 12º en Charles County, PISOTA promoverá una comunidad de aprendizaje apoyado que promueve la exploración creativa, la competencia global, el bilingüismo, el bienestar holístico y aprendizaje enriquecido por experiencias en el mundo real y acceso a los expertos, todo combinado con las prácticas de enseñanza de las artes integradas, un currículo internacional de aprendizaje por indagación y lo último en tecnología e innovación. En la visión, nuestra visión es una generación de juventud informada y capaz de tener parte interesada en la economía global y en la comunidad, no importa en antecedentes. Creemos en la juventud alzándose por encima de sus circunstancias y remontándose a su más alto potencial. Nos alzamos como el Phoenix que se alza, pues así nosotros también nos alzamos como PISOTA.
Now I'll spend a few moments talking about the academic portion, the academic program at Phoenix International School of the Arts, which you will hear us call Phoenix International School of the Arts, PISOTA, which are just an acronym for the school. So at PISOTA, your scholars will take all of their core academic classes in addition to their arts classes. So they will take their math, science, their English, their social studies, technology, all of those required academic courses that they might take at any other public school in the district. What's different, though, is that we use a different curriculum than you might find at some of the other schools in the district. So we are a Cambridge International School, officially a Cambridge International School, meaning that we are using a curriculum that is used all over the world. Over 10,000 schools use Cambridge International, and it is recognized by universities, colleges, and employers all over the world. So in our effort to support us being an international school and being globally minded, we decided to use this curriculum because it offers that network of schools all over the world as peer programs to PISOTA. So when we, as a Cambridge International School, we are part of that network of global schools. What you will find I will say it's a little bit different than some of the other public schools is that all of our classes, again, have that arts component. And also this project-based component. So for example, in our math class, we are partnered with an organization called Musology that allows our scholars to learn their basic math concepts through music. So these are the types of partnerships and programs that you will see at PISOTA. Also embedded in our academic curriculum are the habits of character for a Cambridge scholar. And so these are things like being reflective, being responsible, building confidence. These habits of character are embedded into each class. They're displayed in the classroom, and our teachers find ways where they can call out those habits of character within their academic subjects. So for example, in your English language arts class, if our scholars are reading a novel, the teacher will call out some of those habits of character that are displayed by the characters in the novel, and they'll have discussion around that. So those are some of the key differentiators at PISOTA. Additionally, I do want to mention, I think this is in a follow-up text, so a follow-up slide. So I'll pause for interpretation, and then I'll move to talk about exceptional education at PISOTA. Ms. Acevedo?
Académica en PISOTA creamos y seguimos el módulo de Cambridge International School. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
It froze just a little bit.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Testing.
We can hear you.
Académicas en PISOTA en nuestras clases. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. En nuestras clases de lecturas, los estudiantes se comprometen con una variedad de compendios en ficción y no ficción, y a la misma vez poesía para desarrollar destrezas en lecturas, escrituras y el habla y el escucha. Cada módulo enfoca en un tema y guía a los estudiantes a través de conceptos tales como describir, persuadir, narrar y comentar. En adición al tecleado, creemos también en la importancia para los estudiantes comprender su espacio y el espacio de otros en un mundo digital interconectado en orden de poder hacer decisiones educadas sobre la información que encuentran en línea. Esto es lo que aprenden a hacer en el curso de alfabetización digital, y queremos asegurarnos también que nuestros estudiantes utilicen tecnología digital con precaución para proteger su propio bienestar físico y emocional. En ICT Starters, por ejemplo, los estudiantes también pensarán en cómo crear la tecnología del futuro y cómo tecnología puede formar soluciones futuras para retos globales.
Thank you. Next slide. Adding to our academic program, this is expanding on the Cambridge habits of character, but I want to put it into context to our overall vision for how we interact with students in the classroom, and as well as how we expect them to engage with one another. So we do have our core values, and as you see here, the core values are our DNA. It's how we expect our scholars to respond to one another, especially when they are experiencing challenging moments. This is middle school, and we know that there can be social challenging moments, academically there can be challenging moments, and so we like to say that we rise, and RISE does stand for something. R stands for reflect, I stands for innovate, S stands for serve, and then E stands for excel or excellence. So when they are experiencing a challenging moment, we do ask them to reflect. How could things have been done differently? They sometimes will fill out a reflection sheet, and then we will do some mediation. When it comes to approaching or problem solving, approaching a problem, we ask them to innovate. How can they think out the box to do something differently for a positive outcome? We always ask them to be service-minded first, to always seek opportunities to give back to one another, to themselves, and to our community. And then excel, we do expect for them to always put their best foot forward, and we always try as adults and as those kind of holding up the design of the school, we always will try to bring our best foot forward as well. So that's how we expect them to engage with one another. Again, I spoke about the Cambridge learner attributes. which is how we expect scholars to experience their learning. Talking about that creative process, again, this supports the I in RISE, the innovate. Creative process is how we want our scholars to approach problem solving and coming up with ideas to resolve issues either in the school or in their communities. And then we do have some tools that we have designed at the school to support our teachers in their planning and preparation for essentially modeling the Cambridge Learner attributes, modeling our core values, and modeling the creative process for our scholars as they prepare their lessons. Ms. Acevedo.
Para reflejar, luchar y lograr. En este diagrama que tenemos están los valores centrales, específicamente que los valores centrales son el ADN de PISOTA y también se refleja en el mundo donde podemos estudiar y utilizar estos momentos retantes. También participar de los atributos del estudiante y un nivel crear a diseñar y a reflejar en sus estudios y también por último a disecar la unidad y a planear y cómo es que los educadores enseñan en PISOTA y cómo son las experiencias del diseño de cómo es que los educadores enseñan en la escuela para hacer un plan cohesivo y para entonces tener un rigor y un apoyo en la creatividad en todas estas experiencias de los profesores y de los estudiantes también.
Thank you so much. I saw a question in the chat that asked, what is the alignment of Cambridge International to the curricula that's used across the school district? So please know that the Cambridge International curriculum is mapped to the Maryland state standards. So when it comes to the state examinations that all scholars, whether they're in traditional public or public charter across the state are required to take, our scholars will be prepared for those things, for those standards, to meet those standards in their testing. So again, the standards with Cambridge International, they are mapped and aligned to the Common Core standards that are implemented throughout the school district. Additionally, I would say the nuance is that the pacing may be different. So when they start the school year at a traditional public middle school in the district may be different where they start learning at PISOTA. But by the time they graduate from their middle school career, they will have all the same knowledge that is expected of any middle schooler in Charles County. So there is that alignment there. So hopefully that answers that question. Please put another question in the chat if that did not. Ms. Acevedo, can you interpret that, please?
Yes. Una de las preguntas que alguien preguntó es si el currículo Cambridge está alineado con el currículo del estado de Maryland, del Departamento de Educación, o sea, si es diferente a cualquier currículo que se utiliza en las escuelas públicas de Charles County Public Schools. Y la señora Jackson ha dicho que ese currículo de Cambridge se alinea directamente con el del estado de Maryland y también que prepara exactamente los mismos estándares que tenemos también alineados con ese proceso del estado de Maryland y que no se vinculan fuera de esos estándares, pero también tienen su propia currículo en relación a que es una escuela de artes, que eso es un poco diferente a una escuela regular, pero que sí se alinean totalmente con el Departamento de la Educación del estado de Maryland.
Thank you. I also want to speak to exceptional education students. So these are our scholars who have an IEP or a 504 plan. As a public school, we are required to serve all students, all scholars. At PISOTA, you'll hear me refer to students as scholars. So we are required to serve scholars that do have an IEP or a 504 plan, and we partner a lot with the school district to be able to provide the services that are needed based on those 504 plans or based on the IEP for those scholars at PISOTA. So we will, again, have special education teachers. We'll have an instructional assistant to support those teachers and to support the scholars at PISOTA. So those plans are honored at PISOTA as well.
Y la visión de PISOTA también es que son aprendices excepcionales, neurodivergente doble es incluir a todos los estudiantes de diversos grupos para que cada estudiante, no importa sus necesidades de aprendizaje, trasfondo, antecedentes o logros previos, tengan la alta variedad de servicios y apoyo que necesiten para lograr la excelencia académica y crear como persona profesional y miembro de la comunidad, y aceptan plan de educación individualizado y también sección 504 y diferentes planes de discapacidad también en la escuela.
I'll now talk a bit about our social and emotional learning program. At the foundation of this program is CREW. CREW is a structured advisory, is the best way that I can explain it, that we've adapted from EL education or expeditionary learning education. And the purpose of CREW is for our scholars to build a trusting relationship with a caring adult in the building when it comes to having courageous conversations or speaking about those challenging moments that may bubble up while they're in school or even from home coming into school. They have the opportunity to have those discussions within a smaller group of peers and with their CREW leader. So our goal is that they have a home base away from home. And so our CREWs this year, they have been able to come up with their own CREW motto. They've been able to develop their own CREW shared agreements for how they show up and support one another while they're in CREW. They've come up with their own CREW crest or flags and things like that. So it's an opportunity for them to really feel that sense of belonging, to have an identity with a smaller group of peers while they're at the school. And that's at the foundation of our SEL. Additionally, we are implementing a PBIS program, so positive behavior program, where we incentivize, and then hopefully it'll become innate, but we incentivize doing well, doing good in the school through different prizes and having class parties and just some rewards for them coming to school and showing up as their best selves.
Esta próxima diagrama es sobre el aprendizaje socioemocional en PISOTA. Lo más importante que dice la señora Jackson es que fomentan maestros. Eso está al centro de la construcción de la comunidad cercana del aprendizaje. Por ejemplo, tienen Daily Crew Time, que es tiempo Crew Time, que es juntarse todos juntos, los maestros, profesores y también los estudiantes, reuniones frecuentes de la comunidad y tiempo en toda la escuela, tocando en educación y las estructuras que contribuyen a una comunidad que mantiene a cada uno responsable por disculpas, propiedad académica y excelencia. Los estudiantes serán conocidos y apoyados por adultos. La estructura del equipo permite la construcción de relaciones para monitorear el progreso del estudiante académico, el desarrollo del carácter, acciones positivas con sus compañeros, y los líderes del equipo planean estratégicamente cómo dirigir y hacer tienen PBIS, que es el comportamiento positivo, y eso también lo tienen las otras escuelas y también las tienen PISOTA.
I'm going to run through these next slides rather quickly so that we can move into some of the operational and enrollment questions, because I see some of those questions are popping up in the Q&A section. So I want to move through these next few slides about the academic and arts program rather quickly. So first, I'll speak to the exposure, appreciation, confidence, and discipline. Our middle school arts program is all about these 4 components: exposing the scholars to the arts. We have in our first year scholars coming to us at all levels and experience within their particular art pathway. We have instrumental music scholars that have never held a musical instrument. So we want to make sure that we can support them and expose them to that art. So all about the exposure. And we're also wanting to ensure that our scholars can develop an appreciation for the arts. So even if it is an art discipline that is not their primary art discipline, that they have an appreciation for creativity, for creation, for how these different arts pathways can be interdisciplinary. That they may come home and say, Mom, Dad, Auntie, Godmom, whoever, I want to go to the local high school play or local high school musical, or I want to go to the Kennedy Center to see the ballet, or whatever it may be, that they start to develop this appreciation for the arts. And while engaging in the arts every day, we are hoping that they are building their confidence, not just their confidence in the way that they can produce their particular creative gifts, but how they show up, how they dress, how they enter a room, how they speak when they have to speak in front of the classroom. So we want them to develop their confidence, and research has shown us that engaging in creative learning and artistic learning helps to bolster confidence building. And then also discipline. We want them to take their creative gifts seriously, that they know that when they go into their dance class, they need to be, if they're taking ballet, and our young ladies, they need to be in their leotard, their hair pulled back and out of their face and into a bun, that they need to have their tights on, and they need to go into the middle of the floor and be ready to stretch or to learn, so that they start to develop some discipline into their for their arts. And as well, we hope to foster that same type of discipline beyond the arts, that also in their academic classrooms, they are coming to class prepared with all of their materials and ready to learn. So those 4 components are, they build the foundation of the goals that we have for our middle school scholars. Ms. Acevedo.
Vamos a hablar sobre exponer a estudiantes, para exponer a nuestros estudiantes a las artes y para desarrollar una apreciación para las artes, dice la señora Jackson. Y la apreciación de las artes comienza con la confianza y cómo se construye la confianza dentro de ese estudiante. Para desarrollar su confianza, comenzar en las clases de arte. Por ejemplo, las niñas de la danza comienzan responsablemente, pues poniéndose hebillas en el pelo y organizándose para que el estudiante sea disciplinado y organizado. Y la señora Jackson va a pasar por todas estos próximos diagramas un poco más rápido para ya poder entonces contestar aquí en el Zoom, y entonces seguimos con los diferentes diagramas seguidos.
Thank you. I'll quickly go over the ways that we expect our families to show up for their scholars. So we do have family representation on our board of trustees. This year we have 2 parents that are on our board of trustees. So that is the governing body for the school, making some of those structural decisions about how the school operates and how it grows. We also have a PTSO, Parent Teacher Scholar Organization. We are building our Parent Advisory Council, and then we have school-specific family events. We've had master classes, We have professional development opportunities for families, mostly through our parent university. And then our principal sends out a weekly newsletter. So these are ways that we currently engage with families. This is also evolving as we understand what the needs of our families are, so that we can ensure that we are meeting those needs in real time.
El plan de compromiso de familia es que hay un representante de familias en la junta directiva de PISOTA, en la organización de padres y maestros y estudiantes y consejo de asesoría de padres y familias en los eventos de familia en la escuela, y también una universidad de familias, que es un desarrollo profesional para familias, también noticias, un periódico de noticias semanales del director para las familias.
Thank you. I will move us forward. I don't know if we will be able to show this video, but I do have a video in here so that you can see parts of the school building if you did not make it to the ribbon cutting, or if you weren't able to make it. So let's play it and see if it'll play. And if not, that's okay. Is it playing? I want to move us forward if no. No. Okay.
Ms. Jackson, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. It doesn't look like the video is playing, but it is on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search PISOTA, Charles County ribbon cutting, it should come up. And if not, I can try to find the link quickly and put it in our chat. But the video just shows a bit of our ribbon cutting, as well as some of what the building looks like. We do have a 2-story building in La Plata. It is located at the beginning of the Steeplechase neighborhood, which is on the 301 South Side. And there's 2 buildings. We're in that rear building there. We do currently, we're partnered with Charles County Public Schools transportation system. So right now we are offering buses for your busing system for families. Of course, you can also car ride, carpool. And then I also want to mention on this slide that right now, or in this could change. It's dependent upon transportation with the school district. But right now, our school hours are 7:50 a.m. is when the first period starts, and this last period ends at 2:20 p.m. So 7:50 a.m. to 2:20, scholars are welcome into the building at 7:32. And then we do not currently have before or after care, or before or after clubs. However, we are looking into offering an after school club. And if there's enough interest from our families, a lot of what we do is informed by our scholars and their families. If there's enough interest, we will look more into providing a before care, but we currently do not provide those things. Ms. Acevedo.
El edificio de PISOTA se encuentra en La Plata, Maryland, en la división en el Southern Maryland Trade Center, que es en el área de comercio del sur de Maryland, en La Plata. Tienen autobuses disponibles para llevar a los estudiantes y también puede llevarlos en vehículo. El itinerario de la escuela en este momento es 7:50 de la mañana a 2:20 de la tarde, y los estudiantes pueden entrar al edificio a las 7:30 de la mañana. Eso quizás cambie con diferentes zonas que se están haciendo ahora en Charles County. No hay cuido antes o después, no hay clubes tampoco, pero en el futuro se está viendo a ver si se puede hacer un club después del horario de la escuela, que de nuevo es de 7:50 a.m. a 2:20 p.m.
And I do want to clarify, we do have some after school programming, but it's not after school care. So we do have a dance team that has performed at the Kennedy Center already, as well as at some of the local schools. And actually they have a performance coming up at the College of Southern Maryland in December. So that's my shameless plug for that. So we do have a dance team. And we also, we are starting a majorette dance team and step team. And there's another club that's starting as well. So our families, our scholars, our founding scholars really do inform what our after school clubs look like based on their interests. So I wanted to make that clarification.
Sí hay clubes, no hay cuido después de la escuela, pero sí hay ciertos clubes donde algunos de los estudiantes y las familias y los profesores tienen el equipo de baile, por ejemplo, que van a tener una presentación en College of Southern Maryland. También tienen un grupo de baile majorette y un grupo de step. Esos son clubes y del horario después de la escuela. Así que sí hay ciertos clubes disponibles.
Thank you, Ms. Acevedo. So we're going to move on into the enrollment information. Again, I mentioned this briefly when I was talking about what a public charter school is. We base our enrollment process on a fair and equitable lottery system. It provides for an open enrollment period, which we are currently in, a lottery if necessary, and a waiting list period. So our open enrollment, again, is currently open. It will go until 11:59 p.m. on January 7th. What that means is anyone who submits an application during this time, during this open enrollment period, will automatically be part of a lottery. The lottery happens when we, again, I mentioned this earlier, we have that lottery when we receive more applications than we have spots available for that particular school year. And we determine the number of spots available in a school year based on many things. Some of those factors include capacity. So just the ability to hire enough staff to support the number of scholars. We also base it on space. So the space that we're in, what is the maximum amount of scholars that we can have in that space for a particular year? And so those are just two factors that we use to base how many scholars we can actually have in the building or that we can admit for a school year. If anyone applies after that January 7th date, we do keep the application open. Anyone who applies after January 7th is automatically added to our waiting list. Those families will not be part of that lottery. They will be placed on the waiting list and listed by the time and date that they submitted that application. For those families who applied during the open enrollment period but are not selected in the lottery, they will be first priority on that waiting list. So say you applied on January or on October 16th, however, your scholar was not selected in the lottery, you will be one of the first names on the waiting list because you did apply during that open enrollment period. So that's how that works. In the application, you will go to, if you haven't already, PISOTA.schoolmint.com to access the application so that you can apply during this open enrollment period. I have something else to add to this, but I'll pause for interpretation.
Sí, en relación a las inscripciones, fechas importantes, las inscripciones en PISOTA están basados en un justo y en equidad, en un sistema de equidad que provee un periodo de inscripciones abiertas, una lotería si es necesario y una lista de espera. El periodo abierto de inscripción es del 16 de octubre del 2023 al 7 de enero del 2024. La lista de espera, después, si usted solicita después del 7 de enero, se pone en una lista de espera después del 8 de enero del 2024 y la inscripción a través de la lotería van a estar entonces puestos en una lista específica de grado después de los resultados de la lotería. Y la lotería sí se requiere es el 26 de enero del 2024, que es un sistema electrónico que aleatoriamente identifica a los estudiantes para inscripción.
I think I've covered everything for this slide. I'm just thinking to make sure I didn't forget something. I think that's it. Yep, we can move forward. I just scanned the Q&A to see if there was anything else that families had questions about for enrollment, and I don't see anything. Oh, I do see one question. Did you have to use the lottery last year, or do you anticipate needing a lottery for the 24-25 school year? We did have to use the lottery for this current school year, so last year, and I do anticipate that we will need to use the lottery for this school year. Ms. Acevedo, do you want to translate that, interpret that?
Okay, you were cut.
Oh, did my sound go out?
There, Ms. Jackson, in half of the sentence. So if you, based on your answer, I'll pretty much know what the question was.
Sure. So I'm sorry
Test.
about that. You were glitching just a little bit, but I'll restate the question. The question was, do we anticipate having to do a lottery for next school year? And did we have one for this current school year? And the answer is yes to both questions.
La pregunta es si se anticipa tener una lotería este año para las inscripciones de este año, y la señora Jackson dice que sí, que se espera que se haya una lotería, y que sí, el año pasado también tuvieron una lotería, así que eso sí, también se espera que haya una lotería para este año.
Thank you. So this is just a recap here of the PISOTA difference, an intentional focus on SEL. If you were to visit the school, you will see that every single adult in the building knows every single scholar. And we are very intentional about building a trusting relationship with our scholars so that they know that there's adults in the building that care about what's going on with them, that care about their learning, that care about their character development. We are focused on identity celebration, building that relationship with the scholars so they know that who they are and how they show up is beautiful. We want them to feel okay and excited about sharing about their culture, about sharing about the things that are important to them in the school building. Close-knit school environment. Our building is not big. So just by nature of the school building, we are all close-knit. And then again, the globe is our classroom. We are part of a global network of schools that use the Cambridge International curriculum. Deep family engagement. I shared a little bit about some of the opportunities that families have to engage with us. And again, we are communicating with families weekly, whether it's from a family member to a teacher or to our principal, to myself as a CEO. We are always in communication with families. And I want to reiterate arts education every day. So if your scholar is not interested in the arts, this may not be the environment for them. We want them to, if they have an interest, even if they're not sure or set on their particular arts pathway, if they have an interest, we welcome them. But if they are not, if you know they are only sports and all they want to do is sports all day, every day, they don't want to draw, they don't want to sing, they don't want to play an instrument, they are just sports, PISOTA may not be the place for them. So just have that conversation with your scholars because they will be engaging in arts every single day.
La diferencia PISOTA, según dice la señora Jackson, es el aprendizaje socioemocional es primero, desarrollo de carácter, y el aprendizaje socioemocional también intencional, y las mentorías, el empoderamiento y la celebración de identidades. El globo es el salón de clase, es un compromiso familiar profundo, la educación es las artes todos los días, y la señora Jackson dice que si usted tiene un estudiante donde le gusta el deporte y solamente el deporte, pero no le gusta dibujar, no le gusta quizás cantar o tocar un instrumento, que PISOTA quizás no es la escuela para ese estudiante. Es una escuela de artes la estructura es artística. Y entonces esta es la diferencia de PISOTA de otras escuelas.
Okay, so we have 1 minute to answer a question. Ms. Miller, can you please go to the next slide while I try to answer a question? So on here, you see our contact information. So I see there are questions that I was not able to get to during this presentation. So please email us enrollment@pisota.org, and we can answer some of those questions with you. You can also send an email to that email address, and you can inquire about coming to tour the building as well after school hours. So that is an opportunity for you to get into the building and see the space. And then, of course, continue to follow us on our social media channels where we share all the ins and outs of what we're doing in the building and out in the community as well. And so that perhaps we can meet you prior to next school year, meet you in the community at some of our public events. So please capture this, screenshot it so that you can reference it after today.
Si usted tiene alguna pregunta, por favor, mire a esta hoja donde puede escribir a enrollment@pisota.org, y la página de red es pisota.org. También están en Facebook, Instagram y que
Okay,
con mucho gusto.
Okay, sorry. So it's 7 o'clock, and I know we're supposed to end at 7. So I am going to wrap us up. Again, I shared our contact information so that you can get your questions answered quickly. But in the meantime, if you can, please visit this website or either take a picture of this QR code or go to the website that I'm about to put in the chat so that we can get your feedback on how today went. We always want to improve our service to the community and how we show up in the community. So your feedback will give us an opportunity to grow. So thank you so much. And I hope to meet all of you very soon. Ms. Acevedo.
Escanee, por favor, en este código QR para una pequeña encuesta sobre esta última presentación, esta última hora. También cualquier pregunta que tenga, por favor, escríbale en correo electrónico a la señora Jackson. Y ha sido un placer para la señora Jackson y para el equipo de PISOTA tener esta presentación, y cualquier pregunta que tenga, pues ella se la puede contestar. Y que tengan buenas noches. Y no se olvide de escanear el QR code, el código QR para la encuesta. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.